Joined today with Brad and Tigra from Vermilion Unites for Equality. We're going to be talking a bit about a blanket exercise that's going to be happening next weekend. Thank you both for taking some time to talk with me today.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having us again.
I talked with you guys about your organization a little bit before, but for those maybe who didn't catch that or just want a refresher, can you just tell me a little bit about Vermilion Unites for Equality?
So Vermilion Unites for Equality, we're an anti-racism group based out of Vermilion. Our group was formed after the murder of George Floyd. And we originally started with a protest and definitely realized that we couldn't just leave it there. And we've been continuing to meet every week since June.
The main reason we're talking today is the blanket exercise. Let's just talk about that a little bit.
We are planning to have our blanket exercise on August 22nd between 1 and 4 p.m. in the football field east of Lakeland College in Vermilion. Our presenters are Kevin John and Debbie Semenek. And I'll just explain a little bit about what the blanket exercise entails. So it's an important interactive tool for building bridges of understanding between Indigenous nations and European Canadians. It's a 90-minute participatory history lesson that covers about 400 years of Indigenous relations in Canada. It's learning this history that helps participants identify any assumptions or presumptions they have about Indigenous peoples that are learned attitudes and behaviors that come from generations of lack of knowledge about the history. It's important because the Indigenous peoples have lived under scrutiny for their living conditions, communities, and nations. And this exercise teaches the history of that scrutiny and systemic oppression and the general effects it has on the First Nations people. So in order to move forward in understanding, we must know the past and how it's shaped our present so we can make educated decisions for the future. So the minimum amount of participants is 22. We're capping it at 40. And every participant plays a role. However, only 22 people are required to read the script. I've heard from multiple people that it is a very powerful exercise. Usually by the end of it, some people are so emotional that they can't even speak. And I'm really excited to be a part of this exercise.
And for people who want to take part, can they just show up on the day? Should they kind of reach out ahead of time? How would that work?
Absolutely, reach out ahead of time. We have an event created on our page, on our Facebook page, Vermilion Unites for Equality. You can also reach out to either Brad or I via Facebook or via email, which is vermilionunitesforequality@gmail.com.
From the last time we talked, have you seen an increase in people joining the group?
Absolutely. So there has been a couple people joining just the group, but also we've kind of expanded our reach as well. We've recently allied with the Red Deer group as well as a newer Edmonton group, and just having those different perspectives, one small town, one big city, and as well as attracting members through them and their groups.
I know that you guys do weekly meetings and you're really trying to raise awareness and talk about certain issues and, kind of joining with other groups. What kind of stuff would you guys like to see happen here in this country besides raising awareness? Is there such certain things that you guys want to happen, kind of fundamental change?
Absolutely. I feel like in our education system, we definitely need to interject more Black history awareness and like Indigenous lives history as well. This might not seem like a very big thing to a lot of people, but I noticed that in our Cosmo classes especially, we have no teaching on Black hair, on even how to care for our own hair. And I think that the little things like that are very, very important. So yeah, that's one thing that I would like to see happen. Better education.
Down the road, you're connecting with other people. kind of where do you guys see your organization growing?
That's a great question, and honestly, I see our organization becoming one with other organizations and just growing, you know, not only just in Alberta but across the country, and having those voices that speak for the voiceless right now, that everywhere here in Alberta. So just expanding and having people that are speaking for them, and again, taking that right across the country.
And just as we wrap up today, blanket exercise is coming up and you're meeting weekly. How can people get in touch with your page?
So you can join us on Facebook at Vermilion Unites for Equality. And like I said before, our email, which is vermilionunitesforequality@gmail.com. You can also come out Thursdays at 6:30 by the Pollinator Gardens in Vermilion. We meet there every Thursday. Yeah.
And is there anything else that you guys would like to add before we leave today?
Yeah, so we also wanted to mention we reached out to the Vermilion Town Council recently on Tuesday at their meeting, and we invited them to the blanket exercise. Most of them had already done one and also seemed very interested in doing it. So we wanted to follow up and probably reach out to the Lloydminster Town Council and even attend their meeting on Monday and see about inviting them as well.
Yep.
Well, that's very exciting, and I am wishing you guys the best of luck as your organization grows. And thanks for taking some time to talk with me today, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much for having us.